I mean, there was another report today, Jay, of a quarterback potentially on the move who was just drafted 2 years ago, and his name's not Zach Wilson. His name is Trey Lance, the
Oof.
pride and joy
Oof.
of North Dakota State.
Three
So, I mean,
first round picks.
yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts, Jay? I mean, we were kind of vocal in the group chat with Freddie, Freddie Hercules, Freddie Soliotis, Hercules 2424, OG of the podcast. I mean, what are your thoughts? They just
I
mortgaged
think,
three first rounders.
yeah, listen, you got to pull the cord. Like, you can make mistakes drafting in the NFL. The problem is when you make those mistakes, don't let those mistakes drag on for 5 years. Like, pull the cord. And I think, what, year, 2.5, 3 years in now, we're starting to realize Trey Lance is not that guy. Simply put, he's not. Like, it was a bad mistake. They should have went with Mac Jones in that spot. And now it's simply about let's pull the cord, move on. Brock Purdy's our guy. Now, if you're 3 years in, Puma, and like you still can't throw the ball accurately in practice, in freaking practice, bro, in the most quarterback friendly offense in the NFL with Kyle Shanahan and all those weapons, and basically people like Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo can have success in that offense. If you can't consistently complete passes in practice, then I'm sorry, you're a lost cause. You simply are not built to play in the NFL. You're built to play in college football, simply put.
Yeah, no, spot on. And the Arizona Cardinals are a lot of things. They're a lot of things, but I will say, not only did they have the onions to do this, but they were right to do this. Where they drafted Josh Rosen, they saw him for a year, and then they pulled the plug and they got Kyler Murray. Now, yeah, we've said our piece on Kyler Murray, but in like the 8 games at the beginning of the season where he normally plays at an MVP type level, you can see why they moved off of Josh Rosen. And honestly, what is Josh Rosen doing now? Like, is he on? I think last I heard he was on the Buccaneers practice squad. He might be bagging groceries at my local convenience store, for all I know. You need to have the real discussion, the cojones, to look back and say, yes, we missed on this draft pick horribly with mortgaging 3 first round draft picks to trade up to get this guy. But I mean, at the same time, it could also be worse because you could have had Zach Wilson there too, who the 49ers loved as well. But I think, and we were talking about this offline, I think this is an attempt for the 49ers to recoup whatever assets they can to make a last minute run at getting Aaron Rodgers in the Bay Area. Now, I'll say this. Craig Carton is a lot of things. Craig Carton's an afternoon host on WFAN with Evan Roberts. Craig is a lot of things, but he put this out there about 2 weeks ago saying that there is a second team in the wings trying to make an offer to get Aaron Rodgers. And he was kind of laying like a thin line towards the Bay Area. And then you have other podcasts like The Athletic coming out saying that the 49ers are in on potentially on Aaron Rodgers being there. I think this is a chance for the 49ers to get whatever assets they can to make a bid to get Aaron Rodgers, because a couple of days ago, you had Brock Purdy come out saying, I don't think, there's a chance I might miss this whole season.
Yeah.
So if you're going to miss this whole season, and you're taking phone calls on Trey Lance potentially being out the building, being traded, and you have Sam Darnold in the wings, I know like the system is going to make quarterbacks look great. I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy because he was a decent quarterback in college at Iowa State. But if he's not going to be ready in a week NFC, why wouldn't you make a bid to get Aaron Rodgers? He's going to be there for a year or two tops because he was 90% retired going into a darkness retreat. Why not get him on a rental essentially while Brock Purdy is recovering from an elbow injury? Because the ultimate goal is to win a championship. Kyle Shanahan gets that monkey off his back. Why not? Who cares?
I think you make a good point, Puma. I was thinking about this, a couple days ago. What's it say that Brock Purdy has a basically Tommy John surgery, right? A torn UCL, which basically means, he may not be able to throw a football. I know the mechanics are a little different from throwing a baseball and throwing a football, but there's a small chance he could not play football this year. So the 49ers are down to Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, and they still are taking calls on Trey Lance. Like, what to say about Trey Lance's ability to play in the NFL? And the 49ers are like, you know what? We'll just ride out with Sam Darnold. How about that? You can go ahead and leave us. Now, ultimately, I really don't know what the 49ers are doing at quarterback because let's say Brock Purdy is hurt. He's not going to be ready for until the middle of the year. Are you really going to roll into next year with Sam Darnold? Probably not, right? That makes no sense to me. And Aaron Rodgers, he seems to be there for the taking because as this drags on, as the weeks drag on, and if the draft comes and he still doesn't get traded to the Jets, then I think there's a red alarm fire. Like then I think the Jets fans should be worried about Aaron Rodgers potentially not going to New York. Now, finally, I mean, I hate to bring this up, but why don't the 49ers call Tom Brady?
Oh, good God! No, he's modeling. He's designing menswear, right? He came out with like a new T-shirt or something.
No, but ultimately, is that not a perfect fit out there? Like, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes to New York, right? Brock Purdy is still hurt. Trey Lance gets traded. Why isn't Tom Brady being called by the Shanahans? Like, what's happening there?
True. I think that's more so like also like an indictment on how bad the NFC is,
Yeah.
right? Like, and let's just be real. Like the system is, essentially like what gave Brock Purdy that boost. Like, no disrespect to the guy, there's a reason why you were Mister Irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like an accident you were down there. Like, sure, scouts missed. I mean, scouts missed on the 199th pick in Tom Brady, so it happens. But like the fact that you're Mr. Irrelevant to leading the team to an NFC championship game, and let's be honest, if he wasn't hurt, the result may or may not have been different than what it came out to be. I think that's a testament to that coaching staff and that system that Kyle Shanahan puts out there. And the other thing too, like if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're looking at the NFL landscape, do you
Mhm.
want to play in the watered down version of the NFC, or do you want to try to make your way through the hell in a cell that is known as the AFC to get to a championship game and to get to a Super Bowl? Because we all know, the all paths are going to go to Arrowhead essentially, right? And I'm saying that as a guy that loves the Bills and loves the Dolphins and loves Josh Allen. But we've been on here saying that the Bills window is closed. Everything's going to be going through Arrowhead. Like, do you really want to roll that dice, or do you kind of want the cakewalk of, hey, I could actually have an NFC championship game hosted at my stadium at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara? I'm not saying it's in San Francisco. It's in Santa Clara, California, people. I'm sorry. Why not go that route? And
So let's say,
essentially,
oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say, like, and essentially, like, this also gives the Packers leverage, right? Because now there's another suitor, and they can tell Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson to stop dicking around. Like, you have up until this point, and the negotiations are off. We have another suitor.
So let's walk down this playoff picture, right? So you got the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. You got to go through Kansas City Chiefs. You got to go through the Buffalo Bills. You got to go through Josh Allen. You got to go through Patrick Mahomes. You got to go through Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Let's say Lamar Jackson's back with the Ravens and he's engaged. You got to go through them. You've got to go through Justin Herbert and the Chargers. You got to go
Miami,
through
thank you.
Miami Dolphins and Tua. You've got to go through Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You've got to go through Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns, who I am very high on this year. You heard it here. You heard it here first, people. Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns are going to be good this year. And the Sean Payton led, not Russell Wilson led, Sean Payton led Denver Broncos are also going to be really good. They're going to be a tough out. So you're 8, 9 teams deep into the playoff picture. They're going to be uphill battles. In the NFC, you've got the Eagles and who? Right? If you're the 49ers and you've got Aaron Rodgers on your team, you've got to go through the defending NFC West, NFC champion, the Eagles, and then who else? Who else is out there? The Vikings? Get out of here. You've got the Lions. Like, who else is out there now that Tom Brady's retired from the Buccaneers that's going to pose any threat besides the Eagles? So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I am doing whatever I can to somehow end up in San Fran with that roster, with that quarterback-friendly offense, with all those weapons. I'm trying to get out there because that's his best shot to win a Super Bowl.